Okay. Yeah, so my next one is called Who Wrote the King James Bible? Well, I'll talk about that right now. We know it's King James, but that's not the reason why. I know. I know people have tried to been asking this. I know. The reason why I'm making this video is because I know people are trying to get. I know people are trying to get stop. I know people are trying to stop people from reading the King James Bible. I don't know why there's a lot of people against the King James Bible, but there's some people why there's some people that believe, there's why there's some people that are against the King James Bible because they believe there's something wrong about the about the guy named King James. The guy because they want to believe that King James is a homosexual, which is they'll be calling a King James a false prophet. Well, I'm gonna give you the Chinese flag on that, you stupid false prophets. Come on, guys. No, you're wrong. King James wasn't a homosexual. Okay? He was heterosexual. Okay? And, okay? He was a great man of God. He wrote the King James Bible and he had 54 scholars. So, guys, come on. King James was a true prophet, a great man of God, because you can mock, to me, if you're call King James homosexual, you're calling him a false prophet, and you're blaspheming God, which makes you blaspheming God. Because he was heterosexual, and he was a great man of God. He was a true prophet of God. Okay? To me, I'm a Bible-believing Christian. I support the King James, whether you like it or not. Okay? If you don't like it, okay, well, then don't watch my videos. Okay? And I don't want your arguments, okay? I'm gonna delete them and block them. So, to me, just go away and leave me alone if you're just gonna argue, okay? Because that's not good, okay? I read the King James Bible because I'm King James only, okay? But look, I know I'm a nice person, but I'm not gonna put up with people that try to stop people from reading the King James Bible. Because the King James Bible is the only Bible that's the Word of God in English. So, I'm going to read to you about the creation, about the King James Bible, to show you that I'm King James only, to prove to you that to prove more about why I'm King James only. Okay, the story behind the King James Bible. How was it created? So more of the King James Bible commissioned in 1604 by Hampton Court Conference outside of London. The version remains the greatest landmarks in the English tongue, but who was King James? The creation of the King James Bible. Okay, now, King James had 54 scholars helping him creating the King James Bible. Okay? First of all, we got the Old Testament, but the Old Testament was first written in Hebrew. Okay? And then the Old Testament got translated from Hebrew to Greek because people back then and people just turned from Hebrew to Greek, and then we got the New Testament after that, and guess what? The New Testament had been written in Greek because people were speaking Greek during that time after that. Well, now people are speaking English now. Now there's a lot of people speaking English now. So now we got the King James Bible. So now they had to translate the Greek to English. And plus, I believe King James knows a lot of languages. I believe he does. He probably did know Hebrew and Greek, and probably some other languages. I don't know all the languages. King James knows, but I do believe he probably knows maybe about several languages. King James might have been a polyglot. And that's probably what I believe anyway. But let's read about, okay? So the creation of the King James Bible. So the commission of the King James Bible took place in 1604 in the Upton Court Conference outside of London. The first edition appeared in 1611. The King James Bible remains one of the most significant landmarks in the English tongue. It's as the effect of our language and thought categories, although produced in England for English churches, it played a unique role of historical development in America. Today, many consider the King James Bible's ultimate translation in English will allow none of the use in church personal devotions. However, the story behind the creation of this Bible translation is known. It reveals a fantastic interplay of faith and politics, church, and state. To understand what happened, we need to go back to the early 17th century. Imagine what it was like to live in England in 1604. There's not a world like ours, like speed and change and innovation and continually cultivated and joyously celebrated. Their world moved much slower and continually was prized over change. In their world, the crowning of the new monarch was a grand event that profoundly affected the life and identity of the nation. The monarch will rule for life, and there was no continuous cycle for election campaigns in their world as there is in ours. The prediction of miscalculate. They considered the mood that we must have prevailed at Queen Elizabeth's death. Her rule provided against the sense of security and stability of our country. The burdens of our eager continue the Reformation's work, and Elizabeth's death seemed a routine moment. Scotland's James IV succeeded her, thus becoming James I in England, because James had been raised under Presbyterian influences, and Puritans and had reason to expect James to champion their cause, and they are greatly mistaken. James was acquainted with the mankind in Scotland and did not like them. However, they were a sizable minority, serious, were educated, highly motivated, convinced, and righteousness and convictions, regardless of personal antipathy. James did not consider political wise to ignore them. James wanted to stability in the church and state, but as well aware that diversity and constance would be considered. The Baptists, as they were called, logged in the English church, returned to the Roman fold, and they were also Puritans, loyal to the crown, but wanting even more distance from Rome. And the instant of England's Reformation did not go far enough because it still retained too many Catholic elements, and they had no trouble agreeing with John Knox's description of Elizabeth as neither good Protestant nor yet resolute Baptist. The Presbyterians wanted to do away with the tyrannical structure of powerful bishops, and they advanced what they believed was a New Testament model of church administration under elders and presbyters. The conformists and the separatists, some of whom would later become America's pilgrims, wanted to stay out of the church affairs altogether. They were not seen a point of force then, but their movement slowly developed. Then there was Parliament, eager to expand its power beyond its rule at the time. There was a significant Puritan influence and reputation in the Parliament. To keep this alliteration, let's refer to the next group as the prayer book, establishment, and bishops, and the hierarchy of the English Church. They were a genuine elite, according to exceptional power, privilege, and wealth. To them, Puritan inclination was far more the extra attraction to be debated in Oxford and Cambridge. Puritans were to prevail this hierarchy had much to lose. As James prepared to take the throne, take steerings, and discontented of cause, and gave exert, Elizabeth died and March 24th, 1603, after ruling for 45 years. James received word in his cousin Elizabeth's death and his appointment to the throne. On April 5th, he began his journey from Edinburgh to London and its coronation. James journeyed south, and he was marked in critical interruption. The delegation of Puritans presented James petition of Elena Grievous and the desired reforms. The document is known as the military petition and had over 1,000 energy signatures, representing 10% of England's clergy. The petition of the Catechist of the Hampton Court Conference. From the beginning, the petition of the Allied seditious of loyalty to the Crown, and treated 4 areas: church service, church ministers, and church living, the maintenance of church discipline. It is also set 4 objects that perhaps sound radiates for various to us today, and this is were serious matters to the Britons. Among the things objected to the wedding ring, the sign of the cross, and the wearing of the specific liturgical clothing. However, the millenary petition contains no mention of all in the new Bible translation. James took petition serious enough to call a conference, a law proclamation in October 1603, and King announced a meeting that take place at Hampton Court Place, luxurious 1,000-room estate just outside of London, built by the Cardinal Wolsey. The council participants. The council participants to the conference were the king as privy council of adversaries, 9 bishops and deans. There were also 4 moderate representatives and of the Puritan cause, the most prominent being Dr. John Reynolds, head of the Corpus Christi College. Clearly, the deck was stacked against the Puritans, but at least they were given a voice. King James sets the tone. Like Constantine, opening the Council of Nicaea, James delivered the opening address. He immediately set the throne and gave clear cues of what to expect. The doctrine and polity of the state of the church were not of evaluation and consideration. James immediately proceeded to hit up that found a great deal of security in the structure and hierarchy to the English church, contrast to the Presbyterian model he witnessed in Scotland, and he made no effort to hide his previous frustration in Scotland. The Puritans were not allowed to attend the first day of a conference. The Puritans were allowed to join in the meeting on the second day. John Reynolds took the lead on their behalf of the question of the church government. However, any chance of the being was lost of one importance and no doubt an untitled reverence. He asked of the canonical approach to church. Administration might be order, in other words. This brilliant and decision-making base, Reynolds posed in his question this way: this shouldn't the bishops govern jointly with a presbytery of their brethren, and the pastors and the ministers of the church? Okay, the word presbytery was waving the red flag before the bull. The king exploded a reply, and Scott's presbytery, and agreed with Will of the monarchy is God and the devil. The Jack and Tom and Will and Dick shall meet and censor me and my counsel, and then the other what can be considered this divine a motto and summary: no bishop, no king. At this point you warned Reynolds, if this be all your party have to say, I will make them conform themselves, or else I will hire them out of the land, or else do worse. While Reynolds unfortunately used the term statutory damage to Puritan case, he does get credit for proposing the significant achievement of the conference. Reynolds moved His Majesty that there might be a new translation of the Bible, because those which were allowed the reign of the King Henry VIII, King Henry VIII, and King Edward VI were corrupt and not inanswerable to the truth of the original. James warmed to the new translation because he despised the popular Geneva Bible, and he was proposed to sometimes borderline revolutionary marginal notes than the actual quality of the translation. So James ordered a new translation, and it was accurate and true originals. And according to the flight of nations' finest language and scholars, approved rules, and carefully checking the results. James also wanted a popular translation. Instead of translation used old family terms and names readable in the terminology of the day. It was clear that James wanted no biased notes, and affixed the translation is in the Geneva Bible. Rule 6 stated, no marginal notes at all. They fixated only the fixation of the Hebrew or Greek words. Also, James also looking the single translation of the whole nation of the could rely on to be read of the whole church, as he phrased it, and he declared of the pains of taking a uniform translation, which should be done in the best learned men in both universities, and reviewed by the bishops, presented by the Privy Council. Lastly, ratified by the royal authority. The colossal achievement. I consider it prosperous as a term these scholars writing for literate public. We can only stand back amazement of their achievement. The ludicrous of the translation mandate was called for because the commission reinforced a clear-cut royal political agenda to be done by elite scholarly committees. The view of the self-serving bureaucracy with ultimate approval reserved to the absolute monarch. The final product was intended primarily for public and popular consumption. It was to read orally and intended more to be heard in public than to read in private. How many works of literary genius do you recall that was done by the committee? Learning from many scholars that you can write for the ear. Not to mention the context intended to revoke the spirit of worship. The Gnostic would have been the term of the team of the 50 could handle the tenentical challenges, at the same time producing work and the cadence of rhythm, imagery, imagery and structure that would resonate so deeply with the popular consciousness that would uniquely shape civilization and culture. However, history shows that they successfully created a translation that not only met the needs of their generation, but they succeeded in influencing the lives of generations to come. Okay, now that's the story behind the King James Bible and how it was created and stuff. So that's why I'm against the modern versions. I'm against the Quran, which is from Islam. But I'm against the NIV because, the NIV teaches Calvinism. I'm against the NKJV. Here's 1 John 5:19 in the KJV, and we have known that we are God, and the whole world lieth in wickedness. And here's NKJV, we know that we are God, and the world lies under the sway of the wicked one. So the NKJV is saying that the devil made me do it. Yeah, that's another thing that's wrong about the NKJV. The NKJV says to reject Jesus. Well, because it's right here, reject the rights of man and the Second Amendment. Gaining of peace. Okay, I tell you, not at all, but rather divisive. Division. Okay. Here it is, and here's the KJV. So it's for the heretic. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at these because you said let's go to Titus 3:10 because that's what it's showing right here anyway. Titus 3:10. Says a man that is a heretic after the First and Second Amendment, operation. Okay, the first second operation reject. So it says right here, a man that is a heretic at the first and second operation reject. So yeah. So the King James Bible says reject a heretic, while the NKJV says reject a divisive man. Well, first of all, divisive is a different meaning than the word heretic. So. And then 51 says, suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth, and I tell you, nay, but rather division. Okay, so yeah, I guess according to this, yeah, of course. So it says the NKJV says reject the NKJV, which is the New King James. Yeah, the NKJV says reject Jesus. It says get back to the King James version. Yeah, well, yes, we need to get back to the King James version. So guys, I'm gonna stick with the King James Bible, whether you like it or not. I don't care what you believe, okay? I care about what the King James Bible says, okay? And look, if you don't have to watch my videos if you don't like my videos, okay? You know, I don't care what you believe, and I care what the King James Bible says. And I'll show you how to get saved according to the Bible. Okay, so putting falseness is to damn souls to hell. But to go to heaven is to believe on Lord Jesus Christ. Salvation is by faith alone and grace on Jesus Christ alone. And once you're saved, by easy beliefs into truth, meaning that you can't lose your salvation. Once you're saved by easy beliefs, that salvation is easy. You is just believe in Jesus Christ for salvation. I'm talking about next video is it's called What Does the Bible Say About Creation? Yes. I'll talk about that next video of why I believe in creation. I already made a video called What Does the Bible Say About Evolution. You can go back and watch that before you can watch this one called What Does the Bible Say About Creation. Anyway, because we talk about why I believe in creation and why I believe that creation is the truth. Okay, I'll talk about that next video. Okay, because it's gonna go right now. So thank you for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye.